In the shimmering turquoise waters of the Caribbean, the Jolly Roger once flapped menacingly against the breeze, a stark black flag emblazoned with skull and crossbones. This haunting symbol was more than mere fabric, it was a declaration of defiance, a stark emblem that sent shivers down the spines of those who spotted it on the horizon. The age of pirates in the Caribbean was not merely a chapter of chaotic villains plundering the seas, it was a complex era that wove the very fabric of what the Caribbean is today. Beyond the romanticized tales of treasure and adventure lies a profound impact on social structures, economies, and the cultural identity of the Caribbean islands. An influence felt even in the modern tapestry of regional literature and arts. The so-called Golden Age of piracy spanned the late 17th and early 18th centuries, a time when lawlessness and liberty fused together in the warm Caribbean waters. This period saw an explosion of piracy, fueled by European power struggles, the allure of newfound wealth in the Americas, and the collapse of seafaring employment post-war. The seas became the stage for this unfolding drama, with the Caribbean acting as both haven and hunting ground for pirates. Here, in the secluded coves and limestone crags scattered among the islands, pirates found their sanctuaries. Social order was repeatedly disrupted and then reformed. This was a time when the blurred lines between legal and illegal, moral and immoral were renegotiated. Pirates, often former naval sailors with a proficient understanding of maritime strategy, began to assert their dominance. Piracy profoundly influenced the Caribbean economy. By intercepting shipments between the Americas and Europe, pirates disrupted the mercantile systems that were the lifeblood of colonial powers. The intercepted goods often included gold and silver, but also daily commodities like sugar and tobacco, which pirates would sell back to local colonies at reduced prices, inadvertently stabilizing local markets during scarcity. This economic impact extended beyond mere disruption. It forced colonial powers to invest heavily in naval defenses, diverting funds that might otherwise have been used for oppression or expansion. Ironically, while pirates pillaged wealth, they also redistributed it within local economies, sometimes even sparking economic bubbles in ports frequented by pirates. These pirates, therefore, were not just thieves. They were unwitting participants in shaping the economic landscapes of the regions they frequented, adding layers to the social complexity of burgeoning colonial societies. Edward Blackbeard Teach, Anne Bonny, and Calico Jack. These names echo through history not merely for the terror they invoked, but for their charismatic defiance of the rigid societal norms of their times. Blackbeard, with his fearsome appearance and theatrical use of slow-burning fuse cords woven into his beard, became an emblem of the terrifying pirate, his very visage enough to provoke surrender. Anne Bonny and her consort Calico Jack, meanwhile, challenged the gender norms of the day. Bonny in particular showcased a fierce and tactical mind, equal to her male counterparts. Her presence in piracy highlights not just the participation of women in these rogue endeavors, but their significant impact and standing within such rebellious societies. Each of these figures not only shaped the lore of piracy, but also influenced the collective consciousness of the time, embodying the ultimate expression of rebellion against imperial control. Contrary to popular belief, pirates operated under a strict code of conduct, a set of rules that governed their life at sea. This pirate code was not universal but adapted by different crews. It typically included the democratic election of captains, shared spoils of conquest, and fair combat rules. Pirates were among the first to implement a form of workers' compensation. A pirate injured during service might receive a sum of money or goods, depending on the injury. This aspect of pirate life points to an early form of social equality and mutual insurance, which starkly contrasted with the rigid hierarchies of the navies they opposed. This code embodied a paradoxical blend of lawlessness and order, revealing the complexity of pirate society. Far from being mere anarchists, pirates established a structured, if unconventional, approach to management and governance. Pirates were often portrayed as mere marauders, but their actions had significant, albeit unintended, impacts on the global trade networks of their time. By challenging the monopolistic trade practices of the European powers, pirates inadvertently promoted a rudimentary form of free trade among the Caribbean islands and beyond. Piracy led to an increase in maritime insurance rates and prompted shipowners and governments to arm merchant vessels more heavily, changing the nature of maritime commerce. These security measures increased the costs associated with overseas trade, affecting price structures globally. Moreover, the presence of pirates forced colonial powers to rethink their strategies and strengthen their naval forces in the Caribbean. This military focus on protecting trade routes encouraged the development of new naval technologies and tactics, which would later be pivotal in naval warfare. The culture of the Caribbean islands today cannot be fully understood without acknowledging the impact of piracy. The tales of daring exploits and the spirit of resistance against colonial rule contributed significantly to the shaping of a distinct Caribbean identity, one that values freedom, bravery, and a certain irreverence towards authority. In many ways, the historical pirates of the Caribbean were precursors to the modern pursuit of autonomy witnessed in the region. Their legacy is a complex amalgamation of villainy and heroism, an embodiment of the struggle against suppression and the quest for self-governance that has echoed throughout Caribbean history. This dichotomy is celebrated in local folklore and festivals where pirate tales are not just stories of past crimes, but parables of resistance and resilience integral to the cultural fabric of the islands.
The lore of Caribbean pirates has seeped deeply into the region's literature and arts, inspiring a wealth of creative expression. From Derek Walcott's epic poems to the vibrant canvases of Caribbean painters, the imagery of pirates, freedom fighters on the fringes of society, serves as a powerful metaphor for resistance and liberation. Writers and artists draw parallels between the pirate life and the Caribbean experience of colonialism, slavery, and the fight for independence. These narratives often explore themes of boundary crossing and the fluidity of identity, reflecting the transient hybrid nature of life in the Caribbean islands. Pirate tales also influence contemporary Caribbean theatre, where the drama of piracy is reenacted, celebrating the subversive and the transgressive elements that challenge historical narratives imposed by colonial powers. Pirate legends are not merely tales passed down through generations. They are cultural artifacts that shape the perception of law, order, and justice in the Caribbean. Folk tales involving pirates often depict them as Robin Hood-like figures, outlaws who fought against the tyranny of colonial rulers and corrupt officials. These stories serve as both entertainment and subtle critiques of the socio-political realities of the times. They resonate with the Caribbean people's historical struggles and their ongoing efforts to define their identity and rights within the post-colonial context. Folklore ensures that the spirit of the pirates, with their disdain for oppression and their fierce independence, remains alive, feeding into the island's national narratives and perpetuating a legacy that transcends the actual deeds of the pirates. The intertwining histories of colonialism and piracy in the Caribbean reveal a complex relationship where each force shaped the development of the region. Pirates often exploited the chaotic conditions created by colonial conquests, yet they also contributed to the destabilization of colonial regimes by challenging their economic and political hegemony. The repercussions of this era are still evident today. The modern Caribbean states, with their diverse cultures and economies, are products of this turbulent history. The legacy of piracy, intertwined with the legacy of colonialism, has contributed to a unique socio-political landscape where the past continues to influence present-day issues such as governance, economic policies, and international relations. While the tales of male pirates like Blackbeard and Calico Jack dominate the narrative, the Caribbean also witnessed formidable female pirates who defied not just the law, but also the gender expectations of their time. Women like Anne Bonny and Mary Read are not mere footnotes in pirate history. They are central figures who challenged the patriarchal norms of the high seas. These women engaged in piracy not just for wealth, but also for freedom from societal constraints. Their stories speak to the broader themes of gender and resistance, highlighting issues of female agency and autonomy in a predominantly male-driven space. Their participation in piracy acts as a powerful testament to the blurred social boundaries on pirate ships, where skill and courage were more important than gender, and where the social order of the mainland was boldly reimagined. The fascination with Caribbean pirates has not waned, but has instead been magnified by modern media. From the swashbuckling adventures of Captain Jack Sparrow in the Pirates of the Caribbean film series, to numerous books, video games, and TV shows, the image of the Caribbean pirate remains entrenched in popular culture. This portrayal, while often romanticized and sanitized, helps keep the historical realities alive in public memory, albeit in a stylized form. It sparks interest in the true stories of these maritime rebels and their impact on history, encouraging a deeper exploration of their legacy and their times. The popularity of these representations also underscores the enduring appeal of the pirate as a symbol of ultimate freedom and adventure, a figure who resists conformity and seeks his fortune by his own rules. The story of Caribbean piracy is woven into the very essence of the region's history, culture, and identity. Far from being mere historical footnotes, pirates challenged the socio-economic and political landscapes of their times, leaving a legacy that continues to influence the Caribbean and beyond. The romantic allure of these maritime outlaws, with their tales of adventure, rebellion, and plunder, continues to captivate the imagination of people around the globe. Yet, beyond the romanticism, the real story of the Caribbean pirates prompts a deeper reflection on issues of justice, power, and resistance. As we recount the tales of the pirates, we not only revisit a captivating chapter of maritime history, but also engage with the enduring human themes of freedom, equality, and the defiance of tyranny. In this way, the pirates of the Caribbean still sail on, their stories etched not only in the annals of history, but in the very waves of the sea they once roamed. Thanks for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe to the channel for more interesting videos.